Toastmaster. Hopefully not too fastidious fellow Toastmasters. To break ice, you need a tremendous amount of concentrated force in one focused direction, which usually results in explosion of shards of ice in all directions as this tremendous potential of energy flows out. Now, what I like to use is a little different technique today to tell you about myself, just kind of called an ice melter. In our little chat today, I'll tell you a little bit about myself and where I grew up, as well as what I'm doing now, and the tremendous fun that I'm having. And then probably a little bit more about the future and what my goals and aspirations are. Like many of you, I was born and raised outside of California. I'm one of 5 kids. The first 4 of us were born within 27 months. The same mother. Wow. Yeah, you can do it. Trust me. It's tough. We grew up in the rolling hills of Virginia. Back a 3-mile-long drive, a 3-mile-long dirt road against the banks of the Potomac River. In my home, there were 7 miles of woods, creeks, and river beside my house. And I made up the playground of my youth. My brother and I explored every square foot. We hunted, we fished, we hiked, we built dams across the creeks, we did everything you can imagine. My father owned a big redneck bar in the town that we lived in, or the town that was nearby us. And that was the place we all learned about responsibility, hard work, personal initiative. As dishwashers, cooks, waitstaff, bartenders, managers. For me, I was the bouncer the last 2 years of high school. I was kind of a kid, you know. This place was a rockin' joint on Friday nights. And we'd get 500 people dancing to live music, courting, fighting, and drinking lots of Budweiser. Education was very important to us, so we all went to college. I went to West Point and played 4 years of varsity football as a linebacker. And believe it or not, we were nationally ranked in my junior and senior year in the top 20. We won 2 bowl games. So we actually had a lot of fun during the heyday. Good time. I was commissioned in the Army as a second lieutenant in the infantry. Spent a little time in the Army. And after I got out, I got into construction and found one of my true passions in life, and that's building. I love to build. In the past 24 years, I've built everything from housing tracts to subclass 1 clean rooms, data centers, corporate campuses, hospitals, a 4 Seasons hotel, 2 roller coasters, and a 5/8 of a mile long tunnel that is an extension of the longest building in the world, the Stanford Linear Accelerator Center, in which it produces a source of light that is 10 billion times more powerful than any light ever produced on this planet. And it also is changing the entire spectrum of science. It was an awesome project. And I ran the whole thing on top of it. Organized, set it up. Phenomenal project. One of those career highlight type things. Today I work for a great medium-sized builder out of San Francisco. And I'm leveraging my 20 years in the Valley with the experience and the relationships that I have here to bring that, expand our operations to the South Bay area. It's exciting, it's a lot of work, and I'm loving every single minute. Along the way, I married my best friend in the whole world. My wife is an Irish immigrant. She moved here when she was 24 years old with a basic high school equivalency education. And today she's the COO of one of the largest underground engineering contractors in the Bay Area. We have 3 beautiful daughters, a blonde, a brunette, and a redhead. I'm not sure how that happened.
I'll say 5.
What's that?
I'll say 5.
I hope. refer to them being in their teens, they're all great friends and they have a great time together. Although the past is interesting, the future is really all that we can affect at this point. And for that reason, I try to focus on the future as much as possible. My future includes a lot of excitement, activity, and work until I can't move anymore. I love to travel, and Rome, Australia, and Thailand are somewhere in the near future, I hope. As well as a trip back to Paris with just me and my wife to celebrate our 20th anniversary in 2014. It's a special place for us. A suggestion to my 14-year-old wild child that we all ride motorcycles up to Alaska and back, when the youngest turns 18, has now somehow evolved into a BMW-sponsored trek up to Alaska, across the Bering Strait, down Russia, through China, around Asia, back to the Himalayas, across North Africa, and throughout all of Europe, and then catching a ship back to the U.S. So I have very serious concerns that my backside won't handle 25,000 miles through rough terrain on a motorcycle. But if she sets it up, there's no backing out. In these few minutes, I've told you a bit about myself and where I grew up, what I'm currently doing, and some of my plans for the future. As you may surmise, there are quite a few stories and adventures I haven't told you, as well as some big dreams and future goals that don't fit into a 4 to 6 minute ice melter. But really, those are probably best relayed in the casual environment of a small town redneck bar while down in some nice cold